Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing a dynamic hip opener just to release some tension. So come into a seated position and just start to take some rotations anti-clockwise to ground yourself and get ready for this practice. You can stay here for as long as you need to, but we're just going to take it the other way. This is a dynamic flow, guys, so we will be taking a lot of movement in most of the positions that we're in today. So just take it easy and do what feels best for your body. Now we're just going to take it forward and just bring our arms out as far as we can. Just wherever you can go to today, guys, and take a nice deep breath and just take rocks left and right and relax over your knees. Nice. So now we're going to take it into child's pose and just take child's pose for a couple seconds just to have a release. Deep breaths here, guys. Nice. So now we're going to come up and take our right leg out, and we're just going to sit down into our heel, come back up, take a seat, come back up. So right now we're working our inner thigh, and we're just working on our mobility and also releasing any tension, focusing on that one hip right now. So just up and down and up. Now we're going to hold. This is like half frog, I would say. So just going to take that leg out and just take some rocks back and forth. This definitely feels more intense, guys, so please make sure you're engaging your core and you're breathing. And take a seat. And from here, we're just going to lean back and work into our hip flexor on our bent leg. So the left leg's hip flexor. You should definitely feel this in your quad and in your hip flexors. And release, guys. So now we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Coming on all fours, taking our left leg out and taking a seat into our right heel and coming back up. And taking a seat and coming back up. Taking a seat, coming back up. Taking a seat, coming back up. Remember to keep your core engaged as well to enable you to move through this. Alright, so now we're going to come into that half frog and just sit into that heel, keeping that leg straight on the other side and taking some rocks back and forth to work into that left hip, sorry. This is also a good stretch if you are trying to work to middle splits. You get to feel the intensity on one leg rather than both. Now taking that seat and coming back onto your hands. You can come onto your forearms here if you are more flexible, but as long as you're getting that quad stretch throughout the bent leg, that's all we need. Alright guys, so we're going to come out of this stretch and just shake it out a little bit. So now we're coming into a seated butterfly, and here we're just going to take some pulses and breathe into our hips, just get some movement going. And as you can see, I'm just going left and right, taking one hip higher than the other. Again, just go with where you're at today, guys. So from here, I'm going to push forward and lie down on my back and just allow your hips to just fall out to the side. Now, in this position, if you want to make it more intense, I would recommend taking some pulses and trying to tilt your lower back to make sure that your lower back is on the floor. Equally, if this position is intense enough, you can just allow your hips to fall out to the side and just relax in this position, taking deep breaths and just releasing any tension that's in your hips. So now we're going to bring our knees to touch and take our feet to the edges of our mat and just allow our lower back to rest and just to have a balance because we've just done a very intense stretch. Nice. So now we're going to get up and we're going to come into pigeon pose. Taking our right leg back and our left leg forward. Again, this is a dynamic stretch, so we just want to find a bit of movement here so we can work into the different areas of our hips in this position. So just taking some movement, coming on your elbows if that feels good, and breathe in, guys. A lot of breathing, okay? Lovely. And if it's in your practice today, to get a deeper stretch in your hip flexor, you can lift your back foot up, just as I'm doing here, if it's in your practice, and drop it down. Just a few more rocks before we change to the other side, guys. Nice, so go ahead and switch sides. So you might notice one side feels more comfortable or tighter and more stiff than the other. So just take what you need. My left hip is definitely more tighter than my right hip. So I just give myself what I need. Take deep breaths, breathe into the tension, breathe into the intensity, and respect your body by not going too far, guys. You don't need to go too far. You can use blocks to support you in this position as well. Nice. Now let's come into a child's pose. And again, just breathing it out. Alright, so gently coming up, guys. We're going to lay on our backs again. And we're going to prepare for this yoga pose called Happy Baby. So this is how you get into Happy Baby. If you can't grab the back of your heels, I would encourage you to grab your ankles or even your shins. And you just want to take some rocks left and right here. This is definitely a bit more intense than it looks. And this stretch can also really help ease lower back pain and decompress the spine as well. So now we're going to work on taking one leg straight in Happy Baby. So just like this. Bring it back in. Other leg. Guys, really take your time here, okay? And engage your core and keep everything engaged. And just remember here, the aim is not for your foot to touch the floor. It's just for you to start building strength and going as far as you can, challenging yourself. To attempt to bring both our legs straight and come into a straddle. Lovely. So guys, remember this is intense, okay? And bring it back. Nice. We're just going to breathe and let our knees fall out again and just relax. That was intense, but it's a very, very good way to release tension and really get more flexible in your hips and your hamstrings. Lovely. So from here, the last stretch we'll be doing is one of my favorite hip flexor stretches and lower back hip release stretches as well. Just bringing one knee to your chest and pointing your toes and really keeping the straight leg active, switching over, doing the same thing. You'll feel that one side feels tighter than the other, or one side feels better, shall I say, and that it's okay. And give yourself a big hug. Well done, guys. I know that was intense, but I hope you've released some tension from your hips today.